The media as this emergency mindset.
Hello and welcome. You're watching the Weekend Debate with me, Shavan Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last few days, we have lost our brave soldiers. A lot of politics essentially now being played over this entire matter. You've had opposition parties upping the ante, raising questions about perhaps what they are calling the lack of normalcy in the valley. But the fact of the matter is that there are few within this very alliance who are essentially still calling for talks with a nation which has now become a rogue nation. And the bigger question is, who exactly are we supposed to talk to in Pakistan? As far as these security incidents are concerned, there is absolutely no doubt about the fact that our forces have been at the forefront ensuring that everyone's life is safe. But having said that, we've essentially seen that Pakistan continues with their age-old rhetoric, and not just that, it continues to nurture those very factories of terror in Pakistan. That's the Weekend Debate. We'll also take a look at the headlines we're tracking at this. Forces bomb terror hideouts in forests of Kokonag using drones. Anti-terror operations continue.
सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ है कि इसके अंदर एक 5 किलोग्राम्स की आईडी रिकवर की गई है और हमारा अनुमान है कि ये आईडी के साथ वो किसी सेंसिटिव टारगेट यानी कि कोई माइनॉरिटी पॉकेट्स या कोई भी हमारे इस एरिया में जो सेंसिटिव टारगेट है उसके साथ ही इस बड़े आईडी को यूज़ करना चाहते थे.
Forces eliminate 3 Pakistani terrorists in Baramulla. Warlike store recovered.
देखो, सनातन धर्म खत्म होना ही चाहिए. ये तो डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर की मांग थी, इसीलिए तो उन्होंने मनुस्मृति जलाई.
India alliance leaders continue to attack Sanatan. Union Home Minister hits back.
सर, इंडिया ब्लॉक की यहाँ पे रैली होने वाली है और
इंडिया नहीं होने वाली.
सर नहीं,
ये कैंसिल हो गई.
Senior Congress leader Kamal Nath reveals India Alliance's first rally in Bhopal stands cancelled. Investigative probe underworld links at the multi-crore betting scam. Bollywood celebrities could also be probed.
Consensus build-up की जरूरत नहीं.
The first meeting will take place on 23rd of September.
Former President Kovind confirms first meeting of the First Nation First Poll panel will be held on 23rd of September. Ladies and gentlemen, in Jammu and Kashmir, our forces are going all out to eliminate terror. From busting terror hideouts in Anantnag to gunning down 3 terrorists in Baramulla, Indian forces are leaving no stone unturned to avenge the martyrdom of Anantnag heroes. But there are some within that are batting for talks, that too with the enemy. But today our forces have given them a reality check. The question here that we are asking, who exactly are we supposed to be talking to? The state which has been nurturing terrorists all this while. India has exposed Pakistan on various forums, but despite that, what we have seen is a consistent policy of the ISI, nurturing these terrorist launchpads that are brimming with terrorists, and that they are hoping that they would be able to continue with the infiltration. But the reality is this, ladies and gentlemen, that if you take a look at the numbers post the abrogation of Article 370, there has been a substantial decrease. Having said that, Pakistan's proxy war still continues. It still continues to bleed us. So the question here that we are asking tonight is that those very politicians who still feel the need for those talks, the useless talks that have not ever yielded much result, but we have only lost our brave soldiers. Take a look at this report and then we begin the weekend debate.
Troops of one Para-Special Forces regiment have been engaging terrorists in dense forests of Kokarnak for the fourth straight day. The difficult terrain has led to the army using drone technology and bomb the hideouts deep in the forests. The operation is in an advanced stage and our forces confident of victory.
Retrieval of the body is concerned, it has not been retrieved because the operation is in progress in Anantnag. So big day for the security forces that after so much of hard work and the way they have been mobilizing the troops, machinery and everything day and night, something has come into their hands now after seeing one dead body of a terrorist through the drone. So this is a bigger news point from the Kokarnak operation that started on Wednesday.
In Baramulla, 3 Pakistani terrorists who tried to infiltrate the LOC have been eliminated in joint operation by Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police. A huge cache of arms and ammunition including AK-47 and 56 rifles, magazines and UBGLs have been recovered and Pakistani Army role has been exposed.
9:15 बजे फिर से एक सेकंड फायर फाइट शुरू हुई. दूसरा टेररिस्ट भी न्यूट्रलाइज कर दिया गया. तीसरा टेररिस्ट जो इंजर्ड हुआ था वो पाकिस्तान फौज की पोस्ट जो नज़दीक में है उनके फायर सपोर्ट की मदद में उसने एक्सफिल्ट्रेट किया. इसमें ये चीज़ नोट करने की ज़रूरत है कि पाकिस्तान आर्मी की पोस्ट ने इस टेररिस्ट को एक्सफिल्ट्रेट करने के लिए फायर सपोर्ट दिया.
But even as forces go all out, there is a political fight that has broken out.
पुलवामा हुआ तो प्रधानमंत्री ने गुस्सा दिखाया अपना. उसके बाद तो प्रधानमंत्री ठंडे हो चुके हैं बिल्कुल. आतंकवाद का सेंटर अब कश्मीर में जम्मू रहा है. जनवरी में राजौरी में जो लोग मर गए थे दांगी इलाके में, आपने उनको अब तक नहीं पकड़ा. और ये टेररिस्ट हमारे बहादुर सिपाहियों को मारकर जो पाकिस्तान से आते हैं उनको वीडियो बनाते हैं कि देखो हमने ऐसा किया, जिसको साइकॉप्स बोलते हैं. तो ये सरासर आपकी नाकामी है.
हमारे 4 आर्मी ऑफिसर्स शहीद हो गए. हमारा दूसरा बड़ा दुख है कि हमारे देश जब वो हमारे जवान, हमारे आर्मी ऑफिसर शहीद हो रहे थे और मुठभेड़ में मारे गए, हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री, गृह मंत्री और डिफेंस मिनिस्टर जश्न मना रहे थे.
It's time we keep politics aside and unite as forces avenge Anantnag martyrs. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Joining us on the weekend debate tonight are Shaza Ilmi of the BJP, General Sanjay Kulkarni, Sushil Pandit, Dr. Tara Karta, she's the former Director of National Security Council Secretariat. Sumant C. Raman would be joining us in a short while from now. On the other side, it's Ravi Srivastav and Syed Asad Abbas. Starting off the debate is with Dr. Tara Karta and Syed Asad Abbas. Dr. Tara, I want to take this question with you because you've worked with several governments in the past. You understand the security grid much better than many of us here. And the reason why I'm asking you this question is because I want to perhaps set the tone for this debate. There is once again that clamor that there should be talks with Pakistan. What I want to ask you is this, that for a very long time, several governments have been very inconsistent when it comes to Pakistan. I'm not giving any clean chit to any government at this point in time, Dr. Tara Karta, but I'm simply asking, for a government which has taken a consistent position on Pakistan, saying that there cannot be talks when they are sending out terrorists, when they are continuing with that factory of terrorists. The government has made their point very clear. There can be no talks. Do you believe, as what many of the opposition parties say, that perhaps this, what the government is saying, is actually creating a problem? Or would you say that perhaps this consistent policy is what helps?
Respecting government will ever talk in the face of a gun. I mean, when someone is inside your, inside your thing, killed your army people, and people are asking us to talk, that is against all government policy anywhere. It's not just in India. Second thing is that, like you correctly said, whom to talk to, we don't know. There's complete chaos. If at all you want to talk, which I assure you at the moment, this is not the time to talk. This is the time to fight back and show that we have the ability and the resources to end this thing. And the point here is also the fact that Pakistan itself is in such an unstable state. It is in such, just today we just heard the news that the petrol has cost 330 rupees a litre. That is, in Kashmir there are protests going on. You just saw recently Gilgit-Baltistan. People are clamoring to cross the border and come into India. They're saying, open up the border, we want to go to India. This is the state of Pakistan. So who are you going to talk to? And third thing is, why should I talk now? What exactly am I going to talk about? I would like someone to tell me what is it that I should discuss. We are not going to discuss Kashmir. We are done with Article 370. Any question of the territory of Kashmir has been closed. This is a done deal. Now, if Pakistan wants to talk to us, let them first close down the terrorist camp. Close down 10 terrorist camps. And then we'll see whether we want to talk to them. But I would like a signal from them that they want an end to terrorism as well. And I'm sorry, at the moment, I don't see any indication of that. This is a highly trained group which is in Kokarnag. This is not just an ordinary run-of-the-mill terrorists. They have been sent in, and I would assume there are at least 5-6 people there.
Ravi Srivastava, you've heard someone as seasoned as Dr. Tara putting this into perspective. I want to then ask you this question. You've heard what Dr. Tara had to say. I asked the same very question. In the midst of this kind of an operation, you've had seasoned politicians, I'm also putting it like this, seasoned politicians who are now batting for some talks. Fair enough, for a minute, for the sake of argument, let's have a talk. And if you really want to have the talk, Ravi Srivastava, what is it that you would be talking to? Whom are you going to really speak to? Will you be talking to the ISI? Will you be talking to the Pakistani army? Will you be talking to a civilian administration which does not exist? So whom are we really going to address to? Whom are we really going to talk to?
Shravan, there is no time for any talks now. And I disagree with the co-panelist who spoke just now, talked about the diesel petrol prices in Pakistan. Well, how come we are concerned with that? Let them go to hell. Let them pay the price for their misdeeds. There is no concern for us. Pakistan economy is in doldrums. Pakistan politics is in doldrums. We are not concerned with that. We are concerned with that we lost. We are 4 army top officials lost lives. Their martyrdom should be revenged properly. I mean, the colonel, a major, a DSP of the police, and a Jawan lost their lives. I mean, they have been martyred, and the government is just saying that we are going to take the revenge. What revenge are they taking? If the Pakistan is giving a cover squad for their terrorists in India, why can't we cross the LAC and give them a befitting reply over there? Once and for all, this is happening every day. Article 370 was abrogated 4 years before. 4 years. And what government has done in 4 years? Whatever intelligence is doing, such a massive operation happened. So many precious lives have been lost. And
as far as the report card,
one more thing. our politicians are also to be blamed. Why the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, the Defense Minister were celebrating when our soldiers lost their lives? They were martyred. And these people were having just in Delhi.
If we can have Shazia also on the other side.
I feel ashamed of this kind of politicians and the government.
No, when you started off Ravi Srivastava,
I feel ashamed.
was pleasantly surprised because 1 minute.
Can I
Hold
come
on,
in,
Shazia.
please?
I was pleasantly
Shawan, can I come
surprised,
in,
Ravi Srivastava, that at least on a matter of national security, we were hoping that people would be speaking in one voice. And when you started off, it felt that yes, today is a different day when we are having someone like Ravi Srivastava also agreeing to it. Now the question here is this, Shazia. Ravi Srivastava is now giving a different twist altogether. He is asking a direct question. He is saying an operation like this is happening and you've had the top leadership of the Bharatiya Janata Party celebrating G20. This at a time when we should also be exposing Pakistan once again.
So can I
and perhaps the world should be taking cognizance of what is really happening. Why exactly have they been removed from the grey list of the FATF?
Okay, so can I speak now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So first of all, I'd like to say that, you know, we've seen how we lost our martyrs. We've lost our martyrs and we'll make sure that we'll avenge the killings of our people. And we know, but even as the entire operation was underway and was raging on, the fierce gunfight, we saw these political voices once again bring down and tarnish the image of obviously trying to do it against the government, but actually impacting and creating an adverse impact for our agencies and for our forces. And I would like to ask Mr. Ravi, whatever
Shazia, don't twist it. I never questioned the army. I questioned the government.
Ravi Srivastava.
Please don't talk about that.
Ravi Srivastava, I'll give you the opportunity to respond. Ravi Srivastava, don't do this. Let's make it very clear. 1 minute. Shazia and Ravi Srivastava. Ravi Srivastava, come on. 1 minute. Ravi Srivastava, Shazia, 1 minute.
Don't say that, Shawan. I will move from the show. If you say Shazia,
Ravi Srivastava, I'm requesting Shazia, just hold on.
Right now, Shawan.
Shazia, I'll give you ample amount of time to respond. I'll give you ample amount of time. I'm just telling this to Ravi Srivastava. Ravi Srivastava, just a request. Please don't interrupt the other guest. Let them at least respond. I've given you enough time. You'll get a chance after Shazia makes a point. At least hear her out. What is it that the government has to say on this entire matter? You've raised some questions.
Shawan,
give her the chance to respond.
Yeah.
Shazia, go ahead. Make your statement.
Shawan, do you remember when Balakot happened? Do you remember when Balakot happened? Who was the first politician to raise doubts on Balakot and surgical strikes? Tell me. It was Arvind Kejriwal, who posted a video which is very which is after a lot of embarrassment has decided to take it down Aam Aadmi Party website, where he says that the surgical strikes never happened. Nobody was harmed. And he also insinuated, not just insinuated, said out aloud that they were a complete farce. Nobody was killed. Nobody was harmed. And he became the poster boy of Pakistan. So do you think I will sit here and answer the spokespersons of such politicians who were questioning the Indian army and the Indian valor when Balakot happened and raising a big question mark and were being cited by all the naysayers and the media in Pakistan? No, I don't think I have to answer. Two, and most importantly, we will avenge.
Okay.
And I'm sure there is no need for us to believe that any stone will be unturned. And also after G20, if the Prime Minister was being welcomed by the BJP in the BJP headquarters, how exactly is there a celebration of what happened? It was about G20 and what it stood for and what it meant, the momentous task that it achieved.
No.
And it was about that. So don't conflate the two issues when we know you've been called out loud and square on what you did on surgical strikes, the video of which you've had to pull down, but we all remember only too vividly.
No, let's understand.
So don't be too clever by half. It won't work.
Okay. No. Syed Abbas wants to come in. Syed Abbas, before you come in, I just want, perhaps we can put out this graphics that we have prepared, what we are calling it as the Kashmir report card. Now, there is a reason why I'm putting that out for all our viewers to also take a closer look at. Now, I'm not saying that everything is fine and perhaps normalcy is completely returned to Kashmir, but there is a larger issue which perhaps I'll go to General Sanjay Kulkarni in a short while from now. But for Suman C. Raman, Ravi Srivastava and Syed Abbas, I want you to all to take a look at these numbers. And these numbers are really important for everyone to understand. This is post-abrogation of Article 370. Now, if you take a look at Jawans who've been martyred in terror attacks, before the abrogation, it was 345 in just about 4 years. Post the abrogation, it is 150 in 4 years. Civilians before abrogation was 155 in 4 years. Post abrogation was 138, so on and so forth. Arson, grenade attacks, all that we've seen, it has tapered down. Having said that, Suman C. Raman, let's understand, we are essentially talking about Pakistan's proxy war, and that cannot be taken very lightly. And on matters of national security, which when I started the debate, you were not present, I asked this question: whom exactly are we supposed to talk to in Pakistan? Is there anyone? And do we really believe that Pakistan will actually change? For those who have been muzzling the voice of the residents of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, do you essentially believe that they are going to change? And what exactly is Farooq Abdullah then arguing about?
Okay, Shravan, first of all, the opposition supports the stand of the ruling party as far as Pakistan is concerned. There are no differences. I think asking the question as to whether a celebration was necessary on a day when 3 of our brave hearts, and they were seniors, they're not just Jawans, were martyred, senior officers were martyred, fighting terrorists, and this information was already known. Why would you go ahead with the celebration? The celebration could have been held a day later or 2 days later. Nobody is grudging the fact that the G20 did go off well and India managed to get a unanimous resolution. But why would you do something like this? I mean, it comes across, see, this government is a government which is very, very sensitive to perception. I mean, in fact, its entire, objective seems to be to win the perception battle. And why would you go and do something like this on a day when, large sections of the country would have felt that it was inappropriate? So and to say that should not be questioned, that has got nothing to do with questioning the army or the armed forces. This is a question which is being raised to ask why that event had to go on with all the roses being given and all that, while the bodies were actually being prepared for their last rites. So I don't see anything wrong in raising such a question and questioning the government on that. And I think it's a very legitimate question. Now, as far as the approach, the support to our armed forces is concerned, every single Indian, ruling party, opposition, everyone is unanimously behind and fully supportive of our armed forces. But to say that
what you haven't answered,
saying why did you have roses being presented and a and a celebration happening on that day is wrong. I'm sorry, I don't see it that way at all. I just think it was insensitive.
I'm not saying anything. No, Suman C. Raman, you in your position and the opposition parties are well within the right to raise whatever questions they feel, especially whether at all there should be celebrations or not. That political slugfest can continue between the Bharatiya Janata Party and the opposition parties. In fact, I would want Shazia to once again perhaps respond to it, because Shazia is saying that why should I really talk to that very gang, the Sabooth gang, who were basically asking where is the proof for the surgical strike, where is the proof for the Balakot strike.
Yes.
But Sumansi Raman, what you haven't answered, perhaps I'll come back to you in a short while from now. The question that I asked you, Sumansi Raman, was with regards to those who have been advocating talks. Do you really think that should be the way out? But, Shazia, a quick response, and then I want to go across to General Sanjay Kulkarni, because I also want to look at the brass tacks of the situation. We are dealing with this proxy war for over 3 decades. So there is a larger issue that we are really dealing with beyond this political slugfest. But Shazia, quick response. Why don't you give a quick response to what Sumansi Raman is saying? Sumansi Raman is saying that you were aware that the Anantnag encounter was still on.
And a very tough.
Despite that, there was a huge, there was a massive, large-scale celebrations that were taking place at your party headquarters.
No, I heard it the first time when both the panelists asked me the question. So, and you repeated it for me. So the fact is that Prime Minister visited the BJP headquarters. And everybody collected to congratulate him for the great achievement of G20, which is in no way related to what has happened here. And this is being used only to score political brownie points, simply because they are so flustered and they're floundering. And this is coming from somebody who defends the Congress party. When we all know it was Rajiv Gandhi ji who took Sonia ji and the kids to Lakshadweep on INS Virat. I mean, it's coming from them. It is coming from those people, and also people who speak for Rahul Gandhi, who actually question, Indian stand when it comes to China and the territorial acquisition. So please give me another one. That you think you're going to in any way make anybody question the resolve and the stand shown by India and Indian government and the resolve shown by Prime Minister Modi.
Okay, Ravi, I just want to take this a little forward.
We all know the whole country knows.
Ravi, I'll give you the chance.
So please
Shazia, you've made your point.
I mean, don't get me.
Let's move ahead.
If you want to be so small and petty by using this,
I just want to
only
move ahead a
because you
little
don't have a point to make. And will you? No, I'm not done. No.
Okay.
I also. What would you have to say about both of you? What do you have to say about
both sides.
While the terror, no. Listen.
Sumansi Raman and Shazia, you both have made that point.
I want to ask. No.
Can we just move on? Sumansi Raman.
10 seconds you allow me to.
Okay.
10 seconds you have to allow me.
Can we? Whether it's appropriate or not, can we just move ahead a little bit and also, the idea here. Shazia, hold on. The idea here on the weekend debate. Okay, Shazia, you made your point. Shazia, you made your point. Allow others to also come in. Shazia, I just want to take this a little forward. Ravi Srivastava, Sumansi Raman, please calm down. I understand when it comes to India, Pakistan. I understand when it comes to matter like this. Everyone has emotions running high. But can I, Shazia, hold on, please. Okay.
You have to give me 10 seconds.
Shawan, the BJP
Shazia, go ahead. Make your 10 seconds.
Should understand that with regard to Pulwama, their own
Ravi,
BJP
I'll give you the chance. Let's not do this. We have enough time. Ravi, Sumansi Raman. Hold on. Ravi.
He only asked if Pulwama was due
Mr. Srivastava, Ravi Srivastava, please hold on. Ravi Srivastava, come on. Let's not do this. We have enough time. Everyone will get a chance. Shazia just wants another 10 seconds to make her point. Ravi, I'll come back to you. Please allow her to complete so that you know what are you exactly attacking.
Just 10 seconds. 10 seconds is all I want. So while I've answered the question, my question is, and my charge is rather to all of them who are part of the INDI alliance, Saifuddin Soz was making this statement while the fierce gunfight was on and while the battle was at its peak. And what was the statement he made? He urged the government of India to talk with Pakistan to understand the mind of the terrorists. Can you imagine how shameful is that? And to run away from that.
You You
They are
have
not
no,
talking
you
about
have no
BJP
business
headquarters
to
invited
ask
Prime
about
Minister
the
go.
shamefulness.
It is a matter of shame.
The shamefulness.
You sit there.
Shazia, you made a point.
ask
Ravi, quick
with
response.
Baramulla.
Ravi, quick
You
response,
sit
and let me
there
move
with
ahead.
From
Uber
your own
Mufti.
governor, Mr. Satyapal Malik, who questioned that the 44 lives were lost,
He's
not
your
heard
governor
in
now.
Pulwama
He's your
because
governor
of
now.
the government
Yes.
negligence.
No, Ravi,
Exactly.
Ravi,
Now you don't have
you
an
know,
answer.
can
You have no
as far as
answer.
Pulwama and
Ravi,
Pulwama's
also
conspiracy
know.
theories
Ravi,
are
also
concerned,
you also know that
Pulwama
rubbish.
and the conspiracy
That's
theories,
rubbish.
can we please let this? Can we? Okay, Ravi, the conspiracy theories, as far as Pulwama is concerned. Now, as a journal, 1 minute, hold on, Shazia. Ravi, as a journalist who's been covering national security for quite some time, now the conspiracy theories related to Pulwama, they're laughable. I'll tell you why. Because politics can happen, but please understand that there is a huge ramification when it comes to national security if we take it lightly. Yes, you can question, could there have been a better way? Of course, there have been multiple reports that have come in. Post the Kargil war, let's not forget there have been several recommendations that have been made. Some of them have been met with after a very, very long time. We finally had a chief of defense staff. Remember, this has been a long pending demand. So let's understand, politics can continue, but let our soldiers not suffer because of it. Now, can I also get it? Okay, Shazia, Ravi Srivastava, Sumansi Raman, you all have got enough time. I want to take this a little forward now with General Sanjay Kulkarni. General Sanjay Kulkarni, while I speak to you, what I'm going to do right now for all our viewers, which I did briefly a short while back, is that put out the numbers post-abrogation. While many would say that why exactly focus so much on only about post-abrogation, how things have really changed. The government has basically been touting that, there is normalcy in Kashmir. But the fact of the matter is, for those who've been in Kashmir, for those who've spent a lot of time, and let me also tell our viewers that when you're talking about General Sanjay Kulkarni, who's spent a considerable amount of time in Jammu and Kashmir, let's not forget the difficult times that he has had in Siachen. While I'm speaking to General Sanjay Kulkarni, we put out these numbers for everyone to take a closer look at. What is it that the situation looks like now versus pre-abrogation 370. But General Kulkarni, the question that I want to ask you is with regards to, is there a sense of complacency that is setting in? We are dealing with 30 years of Pakistan's proxy war. Yes, there is no doubt things have changed, but are we now becoming a little complacent?
Shravan, sorry, there's a little bit of a communication lag, but notwithstanding, I understand you're asking, are we got a little complacent because of pre-abrogation and post-abrogation? It isn't like that. Let me first, I'm not political. I'll tell you exactly what happens on ground and what it is all about so that your viewers understand it. First and foremost, pre-abrogation, the incidents are far too many. Post-abrogation, the incidents have considerably reduced. When you say considerably reduced, I'm emphasizing on that. You find the post-abrogation, the kind of number of tourists in lakhs, 1.8 crore tourists have gone. The infrastructure development that has taken place, normalcy as appears to be seen, a different thing. The absence of violence is not normalcy. Normalcy means a lot of other things also need to be taken into consideration. Having said that, what happens is there has been no stone pelting. The number of incidents have gone down. The things are looking normal. Of course, the thing is shifted from North Kashmir to a South Kashmir, the south of Pir Punjab. Now, why these incidents are taking place, we have to understand. When along the LOC, when there's almost the counter-infiltration grid that has taken place has resulted in the reduction of infiltration. Infiltration, however, does take place now, say, from Nepal, from Punjab border, and there are other means, drones to drop weapons, dinghies, little small boats to pass over, other infiltration. Now, when the infiltrations are done, these people aren't infiltrating necessarily with weapons. The incident that has happened today in Baramulla and Uri, you realize that those terrorists were infiltrated, and there was yet to attempt to infiltration. The Pakistanis help them in giving covering fire. Now, that is a violation of the ceasefire agreement that is there with the government of Pakistan, which they have violated, and therefore you now know that something little different is taking place. Now, this incident is north of Kashmir. Now, what we are referring to is the south of Kashmir. Now, anantnag incident, where again the normal perception, complacency has set in. The terrorists probably may have been trained in Pakistan, or they may be from some other place. It is always like that. In mountainous terrain, where are they right now? Between 4,000 and 5,000 feet, at a place where it's very extremely difficult, it's thickly forested, it's raining right now over there, it's not so easy to get over there, they're in hideout, they're natural caves, created caves, there are all these terrorists over there, and for months would have wrecked that particular area. There are people over there in that area, closer, the villages closer to them, but providing them logistic support. Otherwise, nobody can exist and survive over there. So there is a lot to it. Now, initially, the informer who had been there probably may have been compromised. He may be a double who lured them into a trap. And they initially, anybody, even if there are 3-4 of them sitting at a vantage point, they can take on, as long as they have ammunition, as long as they have life in them, they'll continue to fire at it, and they're well equipped. Now, to say how is it possible? Well, it's possible because if you want to eliminate by charging right along, you lose more life. So we need to have little patience. So all other means are used. Drones are used, herons are used, rocket launchers are used to kill them. The aim is to eliminate them, not instantly. It may take time, but then so much not to lose life. That is what is more important. Now, why these incidents take place? Obviously, because Pakistan has been nurturing these people for the last 30-35 years. And now that Pakistan itself is in a back foot with Taliban, Tehrik-e-Taliban, Pakistan attacking the security forces, the ISI is playing them, that the resistance front is also on social media. That is the way they're recruiting them. That's the way they're brainwashing them. That's the way they're funding them. They're passing instructions to them. So we have media, we have social media, we have internet. All of it is being put to use by these people to go ahead with what they're doing. And Lashkar-e-Taiba is the resistance front is the face of the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Now you have the Hafiz Saeed jailed for about 11 years, but having a wonderful time, living in a 5-star treatment the way it is. Of course, India managed to isolate Pakistan. That's the reason why the Financial Action Task Force put them on grey list, is questioning them on terror funding. But Pakistan is what Pakistan is. Pakistan uses terrorism as an instrument of state policy. Pakistan has been a complete army is hate India. That's what Ziaul Haq wanted. Again and again talk to Pakistan, coming from where? Are the Pakistanis saying that talk to us? No, it is our politicians who are wanting to say talk to Pakistan, but who do you talk to? You know what happened in Kargil. That's where our own Prime Minister is talking to the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
That's the million-dollar question that I have been asking. General Kulkarni.
Let's not get involved in it. Yeah.
One quick point.
General Kulkarni, this is exactly the question that I was asking you. Perhaps Sumansi Raman and then Sushil Pandit can also come in. Sushil Pandit has been waiting for a long time. My sincere apologies to Mr. Sushil Pandit. But a quick response from Sumansi Raman. Sumansi Raman, when I began the debate, I asked you this question. You heard now General Kulkarni also making this point. A veteran like General Kulkarni is also raising this entire point. I can tell you that several interactions that I've had with veterans, no one is warmongering. No one wants it. No one likes it. But the fact of the matter is that you are dealing with a nation called Pakistan. And let's be very clear, Sumansi Raman, you can't help it. They breed on that. And that is exactly why they would never change. But you would still have the opposition parties. You can question the Bharatiya Janata Party as far as their celebrations are concerned. But I'm only asking this question. When you say that talk to them, you're essentially playing into the hands of those sitting in Rawalpindi, wanting this to actually happen, because they are not liking the current situation in Kashmir.
Okay, Shravan, just a few points. One, Pakistan today is in a lot weaker position than it was possibly even 4 or 5 years ago, for the simple reason that they have lost the overwhelming backing of the United States, which they had as long as the war in Afghanistan was in progress. That is point number one. Second, their economy is on the verge of collapse, and we know that, and they're just being bailed out by an IMF, bailout. Now, the one thing where I disagree with the general is where he says, are they asking for talks with us? All you have to do is to read the Pakistan mainstream media. You go and read the editorials in publications like The Dawn and so on, and they are full of political commentators and analysts saying that this hostility with India has cost us dear, and Pakistan must look at talks and trying to find a solution and come off our high horse and so on. So they are very critical of their own government. Though, of course, they obviously can't take on the army there because the army actually calls the shots. But there are any number of people in Pakistan within the, the political class and also within the media who have been espousing talks. And obviously, one of the reasons is that their position is getting weaker by the day. Right? So when your position becomes weaker and weaker, naturally you want to suggest talks. But
can I take 10 seconds only?
No, Suman Siraman, on an ideal situation, Suman Siraman, if we were talking about a mature nation, if we were really talking to an administration which was not willing to perhaps train terrorists, then things would have been different. What you are saying is from a very ideal point of view. And perhaps everyone would like it. A matured civilization would actually want that. I think for a very long time, India also thought in that very direction, gave a long rope to Pakistan, hoping that they would actually change. But Sushil Pandit can actually tell you that some things never change, no matter how much you try. They can only keep perhaps changing their uniform from time to time. Sometimes they look like the Lashkar-e-Toiba,
but Shravan,
the other time they may look like the Pakistani army. But we're talking about the same people. Suman Siraman, we are addressing, unfortunate, it's very unfortunate, and I mean no disrespect to anyone. I mean no disrespect to anyone in any uniform, especially if it's a military personnel. There's utmost respect for them, but the fact of the matter is that sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish between a Pakistani soldier and a Lashkar-e-Toiba soldier. They are also soldier for Pakistan. And Sushil Pandit, am I correct or not? It's unfortunate.
Shravan, we are
it's
in a much
reality.
stronger position
no difference. I have not seen a difference between Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Toiba, Hizbul Mujahideen, and perhaps the ISI and Pakistani army. They all are perhaps of the different shades, but they use the same weapon. They have the same mentality. They have the same radical Islamist thinking, and they still believe that Kashmir is an issue.
Shravan, we have discussed Pakistan to death in the last more than 4 decades, ever since they engaged us in Punjab and then later in Kashmir, and they continue to do so across India through their bombing raids, through their IEDs, through their terror activities. The point is, what are we doing? Every time we have an incident, every time we lose our precious lives, we lose our brave hearts, there is a clamor from the Pakistan within to start talking to Pakistan. And now you have a suggestion from your panelists that you could start talking to the editor of Dawn maybe, because he's writing editorials on how we have lost out on not talking to India.
How silly is that?
How
silly is that? How silly is that, Mr. Pandit?
Suman, please.
I am telling you,
no one stopped you. Suman. Can I just make a humble request? Suman Siraman, can I make a humble request? No one stopped you when you were making your position. Okay, Suman.
I was not.
Suman, I understand.
Shravan,
no one stopped you. No one stopped you from making your point. Allow Sushil Pandit. He's been patiently hearing you. Come on.
In the media,
let's have the decency for each other. Suman Siraman, Sushil Pandit has been waiting there patiently. Why don't you hear?
But it's one second.
Suman Siraman,
talk to the editor of
on a situation like this, and especially Suman Siraman, we learn things from you. So do we from Sushil Pandit. For the kind of experience that Sushil Pandit actually has on the ground from speaking to a cross-section of people from the valley, it is important for us to hear them out. And Suman Siraman, I think so only then you will understand why talks with Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Pakistan army does not really work.
Shravan, there is no
Sushil
one
Pandit,
who can talk to in Pakistan. Even Pakistani think tank, analysts, columnists, they lament about the fact that we have no one who could talk to India. Number one. Number two, it was Pakistan who expelled our High Commissioner on 7th of August 2019, pulling down the shutters. They have downgraded the relationship, diplomatic relationship and all contact. Not us. They are the ones who have shut down all trade and business, not even medicines. Not us. It is not our government that has painted Pakistan into a corner. Pakistan has closed down all levels of contact with India, even on essential matters. And in fact, I must commend Pakistan for standing by their ideological stand and not deal with India. India never expelled a Pakistani High Commissioner, even on provocation like Kargil, provocation like Mumbai attacks, provocation like Pulwama, provocation like Uri, provocation like train bombings, provocation like attack on parliament. On n number of occasions, India continued with the diplomatic relations. We continue to harbor this misplaced optimism that dealing with Pakistan with kid gloves is going to lead us to peace. That there are non-state actors, that there is army which actually calls the shots, that now there is fledgling democracy and let's strengthen the hands of new prime minister. And all of these investments have gone in vain. India has to fight this war imposed on us. First of all, we have to identify it with the real word. It is jihad. This is what they call it. And by trying to name it by any other word is going to obfuscate our own selves and no one else. Two, what they've committed in Kashmir is a genocide. What they are waging on us is jihad. And those who are doing it from Pakistan is not just one element. Government after government, prime minister after prime minister,
Shravan,
army chief after army chief is continuing with this tirade.
Yeah,
and
Ravi, you will get the
jihad, talks are only a camouflage for seeking a surrender from us, seeking capitulation from us.
It's almost like giving them a cover fire.
Shravan,
in fact,
just half a minute. In Doha,
can I take only
this is how they got America on their
Ravi, I'll
knees
give you the chance.
Through talks and got them to flee from Afghanistan and hand over it on a platter to Taliban. This is why the Pakistan within is clamoring about talks. You want us to capitulate and not fight them and win. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Tara, can I just come in quickly to you? I have huge respect for the position that you've taken time and again when it comes to matters like this, especially about national security, someone who's been tracking it very closely. Dr. Tara, the question here is that, what next? Things won't change. We are talking about a proxy war for almost 3 decades now. But many are now raising this question. Why is it that the world does not want to open their eyes and see what Pakistan has been doing? The United States of America, in fact, I was reading one article and I found it extremely disheartening to see a US official, Dr. Tara, just about a few days ago, I'm not naming the US official, the US official ends up making a comment that we are doing our business with Pakistan. What business? When Osama bin Laden was found in Pakistan and they waged a war in Afghanistan for the longest time? And today what we are seeing that our nation is bleeding because of Pakistan's terror factory, and the US essentially makes that statement. I want to understand from you, Dr. Tara, what ahead? The FATF has decided to put Pakistan off the grey list.
I'd just like to make one point before I go in, is that terrorism is a political weapon. And I think by what the two gentlemen have just said, they have proved that it is a political weapon because they've actually fulfilled the terrorist objectives. Talk to Pakistan. You do not talk to people at the point of a gun. That it is completely against anybody's policy, including the governments who have gone before. Excuse me. I've been with 5 governments. Nobody talks to terrorists when they have just hit your officers. It's unpardonable. I just want to make that clear. Second point, the fact that people continue to talk to Pakistan is that their terrorists are all over the world. If you want to handle terrorism in the UK, you need Pakistan's help. If you want to handle terrorism in the US, you need Pakistan's help. I mean, Pakistanis are being arrested in the last 3 months.
Seconds, Shravan?
In 1 second. I don't think this gentleman has even understood what I said. So I would ask him to please keep quiet. So there have been
let Dr. Tara please let her complete. Ravi.
In each and every state, they've been arrested in the US. This is the last 3 months. In the US, in the UK, in The Hague, Pakistanis are being arrested because it is out of control.
Right.
So every country has to talk to this country, Pakistan neighbor, because otherwise you can't handle it. You know, and unfortunately, it's very, very sad that the opposition is adding fuel to this.
So
Okay, 30 seconds to Shazia and 30 seconds to Ravi Srivastava to end the debate.
To add to that.
Shazia, you've heard what Dr. Tara had to say. Now, unfortunately, we have to deal with the reality. The reality is Pakistan is going to be our neighbor. They're going to remain our neighbor.
Shravan,
Shazia,
Pakistan is
and then Ravi Srivastava.
But I want to add to that.
Shazia make the point. Ravi Srivastava will end it. We'll end it. I'm running out of time, so I want to quickly tell. I want to quickly give a word to Shazia also.
So when you make a statement like,
go ahead, Shazia.
Let's understand what's going on in the mind of the terrorists. Let's understand the mind of a jihadi or a terrorist. So is Saifuddin Soz or the Congress party or Arvind Kejriwal's party actually wanting India to fine-tune its policy on terror and at home in accordance with the mind of a jihadi or a terrorist? Is that what they're wanting? Is this their plan ahead to foster better relations with Pakistan? Capitulation is the only way out, because if you understand the mind of the terrorists, then this is what you're looking at.
That won't happen.
And so there should not be these fierce battles
we're talking
that we see,
but Pakistan perhaps has also realized that
which even Pakistanis agree is not possible, because there is no forum whatsoever.
The Pakistanis have also realized that this is not the old India. This is not the old
even when there was an
India.
elected government,
Shravan,
even then it wasn't possible.
Okay, Ravi Srivastava, let's be very clear. Even the Pakistanis know this. Even the Pakistanis know this, but they're trying their luck. Even they know it very well. They know it very well. This is not the India of the past. This is not the India of the past. But having said that, the Pakistanis won't stop. Ravi Srivastava, one last word from you.
I only find one statement correct from General Kulkarni's statement is that there is no normalcy in Kashmir. The statistics shows some cases have reduced, but that does not mean that normalcy.
No, that's not what he said.
I want to ask.
No, Ravi Srivastava, that's not what General Kulkarni said. General Kulkarni did not say there is no normalcy. He's defined. He's defined from the military perspective. No, Ravi Srivastava, let's not do this. He's a veteran. He never said that. No, one second. Ravi Srivastava, don't do this. He's a veteran who's basically giving you the military perspective of what normalcy essentially looks like.
I want to
from the political aspect, it's a different thing. He's talking about something different. Please don't drag him. Please, Ravi Srivastava, my only request is that please don't drag a veteran like General Kulkarni. No, one second. Ravi Srivastava, unfortunately, I'm not the kind to do this. I'm not the kind to interfere and do this. But when it comes to our veteran, I have utmost respect. Please don't do this to our veteran. He did not make that. Did not make that point. He did not say that. He did not say that. I was very much. I am the anchor. I do know. Ravi Srivastava, quickly make your point. I'm really running short of time.
What kind of hypocrisy is this? We are playing cricket with the biggest enemy of ours. We are playing cricket with the biggest enemy of ours. What kind of hypocrisy is this?
Okay.
What is the stand of the government on that?
We shouldn't.
We are going to be playing in the
Complete
World
statement.
Cup also. They are
No,
coming to
Okay,
India.
we can. You know, this is. You know,
You're trying to be
this is
clever
always
now.
there's a different aspect altogether. There's a different aspect altogether. Now the ban culture, whether the ban culture really works or not, when it comes to Pakistanis, that's not the only way that they can perhaps change. Whether at all there is going to be a change or not, that's another debate altogether. But thank you very much, Shazia, General Kulkarni, Sushil Pandit, Dr. Tara, Suman Siravan, Ravi Srivastava for joining us on the weekend debate. I'm sorry to a few whom I had to cut short. But thank you very much for joining us on the Weekend Debate.
The Amity Law School, ranked among the top 10 in India, educates some of the most brilliant students who get recruited by top law firms and go for higher studies to leading universities like Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge and UCL. To apply, visit amity.edu.
Jethmalani was by common acclaim a superb advocate. It was a treat to see and to hear him with his unstoppable record-breaking 70-odd years at the bar. Ram sadly left us after setting up a high benchmark of professional excellence. It is great that his son has remembered to celebrate his 100th birth anniversary.
See, Ram, he was in Rajya Sabha member 4 times. He was Shiv Sena Rajya Sabha member, he was Janata Dal Rajya Sabha member, he was BJP Rajya Sabha member, and he was RJD Rajya Sabha member. He completely unified India. The man had immense, he had a huge heart. What we need today is not tall legal brains, not tall judges, not tall media men, but tall people. Tall men, sun crowned. This is what we need.
Unsurprisingly, the most important decision of the I.N.D.I.A. alliance, now they are starting off by grandly declaring that they will boycott 14 anchors, yours truly included. They think it's a great move. They think this will put pressure on journalists to stop questioning things like the declared intent of many of their leaders to eliminate Hinduism, to eliminate and annihilate Sanatan Dharma and uproot Hindu traditions from the soil of our great nation. I am the one who exposed his intellectual inadequacies. They put me in jail with murderers and rapists and underworld dons, and they tried their best to make me compromise. And I want to say to them today, as they bring out this laughable, ridiculous boycott threat, bring it on. The people of this country are with us, with me. But today the rest of the media, as this emergency mindset emerges again, the rest of the media, especially the Lutyens media, they need to develop a spine, because we know how to hit back when it comes to our endless and indefatigable battle for the truth. It is a complete and absolute privilege to be here among you. I am very deeply honored to be standing today. But I must say that it is
Getting an exclusive news break. Republic has now accessed an alleged tape of a video chat that was between Monu Manesar and gangster Lawrence Bishnoi. Getting us this exclusive is Amar Sharma from Jaipur. Amar, ये बताइए कि ये जो स्क्रीन वीडियो लिया गया है, पुलिस का ये क्या कहना है कि किस तरह से लॉरेंस बिश्नोई और मोनू मानेसर के बीच में कैसे संबंध कैसे हो गया, क्योंकि कहीं जिस तरह से ये देखा जा रहा है कि कई दिनों से लॉरेंस बिश्नोई और साथ ही साथ मोनू मानेसर बातचीत करते थे, और ये पहली बार ये खुलासा हो रहा है कि दोनों कई महीनों से बातचीत कर रहे थे।
सही कह रहे हैं। सबसे पहले तो ये बता दूं कि जो एक्सक्लूसिव वीडियो रिपब्लिक के पास है, ये मोनू मानेसर के मोबाइल से हो रहे हैं, तो एक के बाद एक बड़े खुलासे जो हैं वो देखने को मिल रहे हैं। मोनू मानेसर के साथ में लॉरेंस बिश्नोई का ये सुपर एक्सक्लूसिव वीडियो जो है, ये आप जो देख रहे हैं, इससे समझ में आता है कि मोनू मानेसर और लॉरेंस बिश्नोई के बीच में होती थी। लेकिन ये वीडियो हुआ है, कब मोनू की उससे बात हुई थी, ये तय नहीं हो पाई। दूसरी चीज ये है कि मोनू मानेसर ने
We seem to be having a problem with the audio line with Amar. We'll try and reconnect with him, but Republic has now accessed this alleged tape screen video of Monu Manesar, who can be seen interacting with Lawrence Vishnu. That's all that we could.
It is a complete and absolute privilege to be here among you. I am very deeply honored to be standing today. But I must say that it is personally very, very special to me, given my deep and very memorable association with your father, the legendary Ram Jethmalani, for this momentous annual lecture series, which has become an unmatched platform for legal deliberation and thought, and for allowing our network to associate with.
Ram's legacy endures not only because of his unparalleled mastery over the law, but also due to his relentless pursuit for justice through legal and constitutional means. A fitting tribute to a person like Ram is that we too continue to be concerned and be a part of change in the systems we inhabit. The way I see it, he was not just concerned about what he found, he was more interested in whether he left it better than he found it. It has been a great honor reminiscing the legacy of Ram Jethmalani, one of the greatest of our times.
In the year 2011, Mr. Jethmalani and myself shared a platform in the university. Late Jethmalani asked for a copy and told me, I am not asking you just like that. I want to feed my curiosity.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ankit Prasad and you are watching the nation's #1 English news channel, Republic TV. There is a lot that we are tracking. All day on Saturday, there was a sustained crackdown on terror by our forces as well as the Jammu and Kashmir police. We have a series of news breaks. Let's start off, however, with the headlines. Forces bomb terror hideouts in forests of Kokarnag using drones. Anti-terror operations continue.
सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ है कि इसके अंदर एक 5 किलोग्राम्स की आईडी रिकवर की गई है और हमारा अनुमान है कि ये आईडी के साथ वो किसी सेंसिटिव टारगेट यानी कि कोई माइनॉरिटी पॉकेट्स या कोई भी हमारे इस एरिया में जो सेंसिटिव टारगेट है उसके साथ ही इस बड़े आईडी को यूज करना चाहते थे।
Forces eliminate 3 Pakistani terrorists in Baramulla. War-like stores recovered.
देखो, सनातन धर्म खत्म होना ही चाहिए। ये तो डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर की मांग थी, इसीलिए तो उन्होंने मनुस्मृति जलाई।
INDIA alliance leaders continue to attack the Sanatan Dharm. Union Home Minister hits back.
सर, इंडिया प्लस की यहाँ पे रैली होने वाली है और
इंडिया नहीं होने वाली।
सर नहीं,
कैंसिल हो गई। Senior Congress leader Kamal Nath reveals the INDIA's first rally in Bhopal stands cancelled. Investigators probe underworld links in multi-crore betting scam. Bollywood celebrities could also be probed.
build-up की जरूरत नहीं। The first meeting will take place on 23rd of September.
Former President Kovind confirms first meeting of One Nation, One Poll panel will be held on September 23rd. Viewers, in Jammu and Kashmir, our forces are going all out to eliminate terror. From busting terror hideouts in Anantnag to gunning down 3 terrorists in Baramulla, India's forces are leaving no stone unturned to avenge the martyrdom of the Anantnag bravehearts. But there are some within that are batting for talks with the enemy. However, today, our forces have given them a reality check. Here are the developments.
Troops of 1 Para Special Forces Regiment have been engaging terrorists in dense forests of Kokarnak for the 4th straight day. The difficult terrain has led to the army using drone technology and bomb the hideouts deep in the forests. The operation is in an advanced stage and our forces confident of victory.
Retrieval of the body is concerned, it has not been retrieved because the operation is in progress in Anantnag. So big day for the security forces that after so much of hard work and the way they have been mobilizing the troops, machinery and everything day and night, something has come into their hands now after seeing 1 dead body of a terrorist through the drone. So this is a bigger news point from the Kokarnak operation that started on Wednesday.
In Baramulla, 3 Pakistani terrorists who tried to infiltrate the LOC have been eliminated in joint operation by Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police. A huge cache of arms and ammunition including AK-47 and 56 rifles, magazines and UBGLs have been recovered and Pakistani Army role has been exposed.
9:15 बजे फिर से एक सेकंड फायर फाइट शुरू हुई. दूसरा टेररिस्ट भी न्यूट्रलाइज कर दिया गया. तीसरा टेररिस्ट जो इंजर्ड हुआ था वो पाकिस्तान फौज की पोस्ट जो नज़दीक में है उनके फायर सपोर्ट की मदद में उसने एक्सफिल्ट्रेट किया. इसमें ये चीज़ नोट करने की ज़रूरत है कि पाकिस्तान आर्मी की पोस्ट ने इस टेररिस्ट को एक्सफिल्ट्रेट करने के लिए फायर सपोर्ट दिया.
But even as forces go all out, there is a political fight that has broken out.
पुलवामा हुआ तो प्रधानमंत्री ने गुस्सा दिखाया अपना. उसके बाद तो प्रधानमंत्री ठंडे हो चुके हैं बिल्कुल. आतंकवाद का सेंटर अब कश्मीर में जम्मू रहा है. जनवरी में राजौरी में जो लोग मर गए थे दांगीर इलाके में, आपने उनको अब तक नहीं पकड़ा. और ये टेररिस्ट हमारे बहादुर सिपाहियों को मारकर जो पाकिस्तान से आते हैं उनका वीडियो बनाते हैं कि देखो हमने ऐसा किया, जिसको साइकॉप्स बोलते हैं. तो ये सरासर आपकी नाकामी है.
हमारे 4 आर्मी ऑफिसर्स शहीद हो गए. हमारा दूसरा बड़ा दुख है कि हमारे देश जब वो हमारे जवान, हमारे आर्मी ऑफिसर शहीद हो रहे थे और मुठभेड़ में मारे गए, हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री, गृह मंत्री और डिफेंस मिनिस्टर जश्न मना रहे थे.
It's time we keep politics aside and unite as forces avenge Anantnag martyrs. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
In Baramulla, the security forces foiled an infiltration bid along the line of control by eliminating 3 terrorists and also recovering a 5-kilo IED. Here's more.
In a big win for security forces in Jammu and Kashmir's Baramulla, 3 terrorists were killed after an infiltration bid was foiled by the security forces. A joint operation was launched by the army, police and intelligence agencies along the LOC in Uri sector, Baramulla district. 3 terrorists tried to infiltrate who were noticed by the alert troops.
In a major setback to the Pakistanis' nefarious plot of pushing terrorists into the Indian territory, 3 terrorists have been neutralized in the Hatlanga forest area of the Uri along the line of control in the Baramulla district. 3 Pakistani terrorists tried to sneak into the Indian territory today morning. The encounter, which went on for more than a couple of hours, resulted in the killing of 3 Pakistani terrorists. However, 1 terrorist in injured condition managed to sneak out to the Pakistani side as Pakistani army fired upon the Indian forces to give a cover to the 3rd injured terrorist who was killed in the Pakistani territory.
2 terrorists were killed and their bodies recovered early today. Later, a third terrorist was also killed, but retrieval of his body was interfered by firing by Pakistan post in the vicinity on LOC. Huge cache of arms and ammunition along with Pakistan currencies were recovered from the terrorists.
जो एम्बुश पार्टीज वहां थी उन्होंने नोटिस किया कि 2 टेररिस्ट जो कि इंजर्ड हुए हैं उन्होंने अपनी थोड़ी मूवमेंट बदल ली है, तो उसके हिसाब से एम्बुशेस ने रिसाइड किया और तकरीबन 9:15 बजे फिर से एक सेकंड फायर फाइट शुरू हुई। ये फायर फाइट तकरीबन आधे घंटे तक के लिए चली, जिसके अंदर की दूसरा टेररिस्ट भी न्यूट्रलाइज कर दिया गया। इसी दौरान तीसरा टेररिस्ट जो इंजर्ड हुआ था वो पाकिस्तान फौज की पोस्ट जो नज़दीक में है उनके फायर सपोर्ट की मदद में उसने एक्सफिल्ट्रेट किया। इसमें यह चीज़ नोट करने की ज़रूरत है कि पाकिस्तान आर्मी की पोस्ट ने इस टेररिस्ट को एक्सफिल्ट्रेट करने के लिए फायर सपोर्ट दिया और हमारी तरफ फायर किया। उसकी डिटेल्स हम आपको फॉरवर्ड कर देंगे। एंड सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है कि इसके अंदर एक 5 किलोग्राम की आईडी रिकवर की गई है।
The infiltration bid and the subsequent encounter comes a day after Lashkar-e-Taiba terror module was unearthed in the Baramulla district. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And in a crackdown on ISIS terror, multi-location NIA searches were conducted in Tamil Nadu and Telangana. 21 locations in Coimbatore, 3 locations in Chennai, 5 locations in Hyderabad, and 1 location in Tenkasi were raided. Sources suggest the raids are linked to ISIS terror and the recruitment case as well. Century Laminates gets you this report.
The National Investigation Agency has been conducting raids from the morning at several locations in Tamil Nadu, particularly 22 locations in Coimbatore. And these 22 locations are the residences of people who have been in contact or in some kind of a connection with Jamesha Muben, who was the mastermind and the suicide bomber during the October 23, 2022 cylinder blast that took place in Coimbatore. And the NIA has been conducted raids in the morning at these places to find out relevant connections between these people and Jamesha Muben. And meanwhile, it is very interesting to note that one of the 22 people is Arif, who is the husband of a DMK Ward 82 councillor of the Coimbatore city, and there was raids that happened at his location as well. The raids have now ended, and official confirmation from the NIA regarding what has been retrieved from these raids are still awaited. This is Vashni Ramu along with camera person Nandakumar from Chennai for Republic TV.
Viewers, the relentless attack on the Sanatan Dharm continues after the DMK SP and a Bihar minister, another INDI leader, has abused Sanatan Dharm and given a call to eradicate it. Sharad Pawar's close aide Jitendra Awad has said that Sanatan and Sanatanis must be finished. Here is the full story.
There seems to be no end to the systematic attack on the Sanatan Dharm. Days after, several I.N.D.I.A alliance members insulted the oldest religion.
டெங்கு காய்ச்சல், மலேரியா, கொரோனா இதையெல்லாம் நம்ம எதிர்க்க கூடாது, ஒழித்து கட்ட வேண்டும். அப்படிதான் இந்த சனாதனம். சனாதனம் என்பதை எதிர்ப்பதை விட ஒழிப்பதே நாம் செய்ய வேண்டிய முதல் காரியமாகும்.
உதயநிதி ஸ்டாலின் அவர்கள் மென்மையாகத்தான் சொன்னார், மலேரியா போல டெங்கு போல ஒழிக்க வேண்டும் என்று. மலேரியாவுக்கும் டெங்குக்கும் சோசியல் ஸ்டிக்மா இல்ல, அது ஒரு அருவருப்பா சமூகம் பார்க்காது. அருவருவாக பார்க்குற ஒரு சனாதனத்தை சொல்லணும்னா முறைப்படி ஒரு காலத்தில் தொழுநோய் இருந்தது, இப்போ HIV இருந்தது. எங்களை பொறுத்தவரை HIV தொழுநோயை போல HIV போல சமூக அவலம் நிறைந்த ஒரு நோயாகத்தான் நம்ம பார்க்கிறோம்.
பத்திரிகைகளின் மூலமாக, ஊடகங்களின் மூலமாக நம்முடைய இந்த சனாதன எதிர்ப்பு கொள்கையை இந்தியா என்ற இங்க எல்லாம் நண்பர்களும் சொல்லிவிட்டார்கள். இந்த இந்தியா என்பது ஒரு சனாதன கொள்கைக்கு எதிர்ப்பாக உருவாக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிற கூட்டணி தான் இந்தியா. எங்களுக்குள் கருத்து வேறுபாடுகள் இருக்கலாம், ஆனால் இந்த சனாதனத்தை எதிர்க்க வேண்டும் என்பதிலே யாருக்கும் எந்த வேறுபட்ட கருத்தும் இல்லை.
Its ally NCP has also jumped into the controversy.
देखो, सनातन धर्म खत्म होना ही चाहिए. ये तो डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर की मांग थी, इसीलिए तो उन्होंने मनुस्मृति जलाई। इतने दिन कहां था सनातन धर्म?
The declaration by the NCP leaders to finish off Sanatan brought immediate adverse reactions from the senior BJP leaders like Rajnath Singh and other union ministers, who condemned the demand of eradication of Sanatan Dharma.
इंडिया अलायंस के कुछ लोग रामचरितमानस का अपमान करते हैं। आप इससे सहमत है क्या? जन्माष्टमी की छुट्टी रद्द कर देते हैं, आप इससे सहमत है क्या? और वो सनातन धर्म को कहते हैं, कई सारे रोगों के साथ इसका नाम जोड़ते हैं। इनका एक ही काम है, तुष्टीकरण।
सनातन धर्म एक ऐसा धर्म है जिसने कि वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का संदेश दिया है, यानी जाति पंथ मजहब इन सब सारी चीजों से ऊपर उठकर पूरा विश्व ही हमारा परिवार है। यह संदेश देने वाला जो कोई धर्म है वह सनातन धर्म है। यह न इसका आदि है न अंत है। दुनिया की कोई ताकत इस सनातन धर्म को समाप्त नहीं कर सकती।
आप एक काम करके दिखाओ, यही बयान काल अगर मुसलमान का खिलाफ आते थे, काल अगर कोई एक गठबंधन का कोई व्यक्ति मुसलमान धर्म का खिलाफ ये स्टेटमेंट देता है, तुरंत वह पार्टी को इंडिया गठबंधन से बाहर कर देता था। लेकिन आज हिंदू का खिलाफ बयान आया, बोला नहीं ये तो फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच है। तो ये जो दोहरा मानदंड है, ये कोई पार्टी का मानदंड नहीं है।
The fight over Sanatan has exploded and is likely to dominate the campaign agenda ahead of the elections. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Viewers, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to dedicate the Yashobhumi to the people of the country in Dwarka on September 17th, adding that it will stand out as one of the top convention and exhibition centers globally. Here's all about the world-class convention center in Dwarka.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to inaugurate Yashobhumi, a world-class convention center in Dwarka on September 17. The soon-to-be inaugurated Yashobhumi at Dwarka has state-of-the-art features and unparalleled facilities. It will stand out as one of the top convention and exhibition centers globally. PM's vision of having a world-class infrastructure for hosting meetings, conferences and exhibitions in the country will be strengthened with the operationalization of Phase 1 of Yashobhumi, also known as the India International Convention at Dwarka.
द्वारका के सेक्टर 25 में बना इंडिया इंटरनेशनल कन्वेंशन सेंटर, जिसे यशोभूमि के नाम से भी कहा जा रहा है, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी कल यहां पर पहुंचेंगे और आप इसकी भव्यता को देखकर अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं कि क्यों ये यशोभूमि चर्चों में है और किस तरीके से हाईटेक ये यशोभूमि को बनाया गया है। और आप तस्वीरों में देखेंगे कि बहुत बड़े स्पेस में इसको तैयार किया गया है और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी कल जब यहाँ पर पहुंचेंगे, उनके स्वागत के लिए, उनके साथ जो डेलीगेशन होगा उसके स्वागत के लिए इस पूरी यशोभूमि को तैयार किया गया है।
The convention center, built across more than 73,000 square meters of area, comprises 15 convention rooms, including the main auditorium, the grand ballroom, and 13 meeting rooms with a total capacity of holding 11,000 delegates. The convention center has the largest LED media facade in the country. The main auditorium is the plenary hall for the convention center and is equipped with a seating capacity of around 6,000 guests. The grand ballroom with a unique petal ceiling can host around 2,500 guests. Yashobhumi also offers one of the largest exhibition halls in the world. It consists of materials and objects inspired by Indian culture.
सबसे ऊपर आप देखेंगे कि एलईडी स्क्रीन इस पूरे भवन पर लगाई गई है और देश की संस्कृति को इस स्क्रीन के जरिए दर्शाने की कोशिश। और आप देख सकते हैं कि कैसे कलरफुल रात के समय ये पूरा कन्वेंशन सेंटर आपको लगता हुआ नजर आएगा। और आप देखेंगे एकदम लग्जरी, हाईटेक और भव्य तरीके से इसको तैयार किया गया है, ताकि कोई भी अगर यहाँ पर आए तो समझ सके कि किस तरीके से टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करके इस कन्वेंशन सेंटर को तैयार किया गया।
Yashobhumi will also be connected to the Delhi Airport Metro Express line with the inauguration of the new metro station at Dwarka, Sector 25. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And a lot more coming up, viewers. Investigators are probing underworld links in a multi-crore betting scam. Bollywood celebrities could also be probed, is what we're told. And former President Ramnath Kovind confirms the first meeting of the One Nation, One Poll panel will be held on September 23rd. We're back in a few seconds with more. Stay with us.
Jethmalani was by common acclaim a superb advocate. It was a treat to see and to hear him with his unstoppable, record-breaking 70-odd years at the bar. Ram sadly left us after setting up a high benchmark of professional excellence. It is great that his son has remembered to celebrate his 100th birth anniversary.
See, Ram, he was in Rajya Sabha member 4 times. He was Shiv Sena Rajya Sabha member, he was Janata Dal Rajya Sabha member, he was BJP Rajya Sabha member, and he was RJD Rajya Sabha member. He completely unified India. The man had immense, he had a huge heart. What we need today is not tall legal brains, not tall judges, not tall media men, but tall people. Tall men, sun-crowned. This is what we need.
Unsurprisingly, the most important decision of the I.N.D.I.A. alliance, now they are starting off by grandly declaring that they will boycott 14 anchors, yours truly included. They think it's a great move. They think this will put pressure on journalists to stop questioning things like the declared intent of many of their leaders to eliminate Hinduism, to eliminate and annihilate Sanatan Dharma and uproot Hindu traditions from the soil of our great nation. I am the one who exposed his intellectual inadequacies. They put me in jail with murderers and rapists and underworld dons, and they tried their best to make me compromise. And I want to say to them today, as they bring out this laughable, ridiculous boycott threat, bring it on. The people of this country are with us, with me. But today the rest of the media, as this emergency mindset emerges again, the rest of the media, especially the Lutyens media, they need to develop a spine, because we know how to hit back when it comes to our endless and indefatigable battle for the truth.
It is a complete and absolute privilege to be here among you. I am very deeply honored to be standing today. But I must say that it is personally very, very special to me, given my deep and very memorable association with your father, the legendary Ram Jethmalani, for this momentous annual lecture series, which has become an unmatched platform for legal deliberation and thought, and for allowing our network to associate with it.
Ram's legacy endures not only because of his unparalleled mastery over the law, but also due to his relentless pursuit for justice through legal and constitutional means. A fitting tribute to a person like Ram is that we too continue to be concerned and be a part of change in the systems we inhabit. The way I see it, he was not just concerned about what he found, he was more interested in whether he left it better than he found it. It has been a great honor reminiscing the legacy of Ram Jethmalani, one of the greatest of our times.
In the year 2011, Mr. Jethmalani and myself shared a platform in the university. Late Jethmalani asked for a copy and told me, I am not asking you just like that. I want to feed my curiosity. That was the great intellectual curiosity of late Jethmalani.
Jethmalani was by common acclaim a superb advocate. It was a treat to see and to hear him with his unstoppable, record-breaking 70-odd years at the bar. Ram sadly
Viewers, days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed concern over anti-India activities of extremist elements in Canada at his meeting with Canadian counterpart Justin Trudeau on the sidelines of the G20 summit, the two countries are learned to have paused their negotiations on a bilateral free trade agreement. Here is a detailed report.
Nearly a week after the G20 summit concluded, India-Canada Free Trade Agreement negotiations have been paused. According to sources, the development comes amid the recent anti-India activities in Canada. And the trade talks will only resume once the issues at both ends settle down. According to reports, the Canadian Trade Minister postponed a trade mission to India planned for October. Earlier, soon after the bilateral talks between India and Canada, PM Modi conveyed India's strong concerns about continuing anti-India activities of extremist elements in Canada during the G20. It was in March 2022 when the negotiations were relaunched after India and Canada held the 5th Ministerial Dialogue on Trade and Investment. 10 rounds of negotiations have been held so far, the most recent being 2017. In 2020, the two countries held a virtual meeting to discuss the possibility of an early harvest agreement or interim agreement. The relationship between the two nations has seen a steady decline, especially due to Trudeau's appeasement towards Khalistani extremists. And with the recent developments, it seems the relations have reached a stagnant point. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And a lot more coming up. Our brave security forces bombed terror hideouts in the forests of Kokarnag using drones. Anti-terror operations continue. More details coming up after a short break.